Iran's leadership baton just passed. Mojtaba Khamenei steps in. What does it mean? Markets are jittery, oil's past $100, and the world's watching. What does the succession mean for Iran, the region, and even your gas tank? Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. Mojtaba Khamenei replaces his father as supreme leader. Now, oil prices are now over $100 a gallon, and I assume gas prices are to follow. The public mostly, they oppose this military action. There is partisan divide. I don't want to shock anyone between the Republicans and the Democrats on Iran. Please subscribe, like, share, click the notification bell. Please comment for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. Now, we got good news. Iranians' women's soccer team was granted asylum in Australia. Well, then we are thrilled to hear that. We really are. Big soccer fan here. With Mojtaba Khamenei leading Iran, global ripple effects are already unfolding. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz has been disrupted, basically down to zero, affecting global supply chains. And that is about, folks, where 20% of the world's oil supply goes right through that Strait of Hormuz. So, you know, we got a hardliner that has just taken over in Iran. Now, how long is he going to last before they get to him next? But as the U.S. faces backlash over this military action, all could mean higher prices because, you know, when gas costs a lot, inflation goes up. And longer-term geopolitical shifts are on the horizon. Now, what does all of this mean? I'm going to break this all down. Okay, so right next to Iran is what is called the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what goes on there in the Strait of Hormuz? This is going to get a little complicated, but I'm going to make it real easy for everyone. 20% of the world oil goes right through there. Okay, now I want you to keep that in mind real quick. Now, there's war going on in that region. If I were a ship, I wouldn't sail through there with any oil myself. So it has trickled down to zero now, from 20% down to zero. That affects China. That affects Russia. It's a lot going on there. Now, with regard to the Strait of Hormuz, the insurance companies have canceled all the shipping insurance. They're not going to pay for any problems in the Strait of Hormuz or pay any claims when cruise missiles are flying overhead. Okay, F-22 Raptors, F-35s are in the air. B-52 bombers, you name it, are going back and forth in that region because Iran has fired at everyone. Okay. Everybody. They didn't fire just back at Israel. Everywhere there is a United States military base, Kuwait, Qatar, you name it, are now getting hit by Iranian missiles. Now, let me tell you something I was surprised about, folks, is I thought Iran's response would be a lot better than it has been. Really. I mean, are they a paper tiger? Because previous administrations, the Obama administration, the Bush administration, etc., made it seem like Iran was a superpower. They have pretty much not been able to get a plane off the ground. About 2,000 targets now have been hit inside Iran. Their supreme leader is dead. Most of the supreme leader's cabinet dead. Now, The folks, and I'm talking about the Iranians, they want regime change, and they have wanted regime change. And now look what they got. Now they got Khomeini's son. This is not good, folks. This is not good. And I think what bothers most Americans and why most Americans are adverse to these military operations is Trump said no more wars, no new wars, no regime change. Every time you turn around, he's bombing something. Really. I mean, now he hit, if you will, Iran about what, 3 months ago, give or take? And he said that the nuclear program has been completely obliterated, completely destroyed. What's he doing in there now? If they don't have nuclear weapon capability anymore. Oh, they're rebuilding their nuclear capability. Um, and it just seems like, right in the middle of a negotiation, I guess Trump figured the negotiation wasn't going anywhere. So he ordered military action in Iran, and it's ongoing. Now, back to the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, I told you to keep that there. This is of grave concern to China, Russia, and many others. And let me tell you where I'm coming from here, because here comes my commentary. Here comes my opinion. And I'm not saying it's right, but it's just my opinion. Trump views Russia and China as his most formidable adversaries. Okay. Now, if you've been on the moon for the last 30 years, you know that Trump doesn't like to lose. Okay. In case you haven't noticed that. And now let's think of where all this started and where all of this is going. Okay. Energy. It's got to be, at least in part. Now, some people will say that the U.S. is carrying out military operations on behalf of Israel. Okay. And some could make that argument, and it's a very good argument, and it's certainly possible. The other possibility, and this is just coming from me now, is Trump is trying to control the energy all over the globe. Let's dive into that a bit. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. First, and he continues to negotiate to take over Greenland. That's the Arctic. The United States has a large military presence in the South China Sea, where energy flows back and forth. Okay. Now we got that. Venezuela, he's already taken what? 1.5 million barrels of oil from them. He's not giving it back. And that is where the energy lies. Okay. So again, there's a lot of Chinese and Russian ordnance in that area because of the energy. Now, going to move to another one, the Panama Canal. Okay. Right under the U.S. noses, the Chinese pretty much took over every port there in the Panama Canal. Trump reelected 2024. He kicked them out. He what did he do? He threatens tariffs or threatens military action, and the Panamanian government stopped doing business with China there now. Okay, so what do we have here now, folks? Okay, you ready? Going to talk about energy here. South China Sea, I got that. Venezuela, Greenland, Iran. Okay, the Strait of Hormuz. He has put a chokehold on all energy supplies all over the world now. It's exactly what he's done. Matter of fact, any commerce now is basically controlled by the United States. And I think that was by design. I really do, because what else could be the explanation? If you look at a map, okay, and you want to Google this and I'll show it to you here, of all the U.S. bases in the Middle East, massive U.S. presence. Where isn't there one? Iran. Iran. Well, I have a feeling there's going to be now because part of that negotiation is where are we putting our air bases? We want at least 4 air bases in Iran now. That is why the exit strategy, there generally isn't one. I think that every time the United States goes somewhere to fight, whether that be France, Japan, Germany, you name it, Iraq, Kuwait, they never seem to leave. They never seem to leave. So, what I would say, you're probably looking at higher gas prices. You're probably looking at a few more cents at the grocery store with inflation now. So we will see how this plays out. Now, according to the president, he's trying to get in and out of there. But, that seems to be people's famous last words. If it were up to Lindsey Graham, we would live there. Now, what I hope doesn't happen is U.S. ground forces in Iran. I would prefer that not happen. That's when there's a lot of loss for life. So we'll see how it all plays out. I will be here now every Thursday. I'm going to answer your questions, respond to your comments, and I ask you to please subscribe, like, share, click the notification bell. Please comment for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. As always, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, God bless you. Don't forget to adopt a pet. And we'll see you next time.